there, my name is Skye Cranny. I am Snow College class of 2013. In the, 12 years since I've graduated, I've gone on and I've gotten my PhD, and now I work as a tour guide, as you can see here in Washington, D.C. So you might be wondering, how did I get from Snow College to Washington, D.C. with my PhD? Well, as these images pass by with some of the amazing things I see every day, you'll find out.
I was born and raised in Boise, Idaho, and never even knew that Snow College existed until my senior year in high school. After visiting campus in Ephraim, I knew that it was where I was supposed to go, though I wasn't really sure why. While at Snow, I majored in history, minored in creative writing, worked as the editor for the school's creative writing journal Weeds, and wrote my first ever major history project on the Tudor dynasty. But even more importantly, it was at Snow College that I took a literature class with Professor Rachel Keller that made me realize there was so much more about the world that I could learn. At Snow College, I learned about the long-lasting impact that women who came in the generations before me had, which stemmed only from their belief that their cause was greater than the dangers they faced in behaving differently. It was almost as if everything about my life up to that point suddenly made sense, that I had always had these feelings that I didn't understand and couldn't name, but that at Snow I saw represented in front of me in class. It turns out that this discovery about myself and the world around me, even in this tiny little town in central Utah, would significantly impact the rest of my life. After Snow, I transferred to Utah State University and graduated after writing an honors history thesis about Catherine the Great, Empress of Russia. After a year off from school and interning at the old Idaho State Penitentiary in Boise, where I gave public tours, I decided to get a master's degree in history. I graduated from the University of Wyoming with my MA in history in 2018. After taking another year off, during which time I started a podcast about the old Idaho State Penitentiary, I started attending Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas, to get my PhD. My dissertation is about the role of early Hollywood in the social expectations for women between 1920 and 1950, a topic I never would have even considered if it weren't for my time at Snow. Because of my dissertation, I am a huge old movie fan, especially movies from the 1930s and 1940s. I spent several months in Los Angeles doing research for my dissertation, living my best life, and finding archival evidence of women in Hollywood doing amazing things. Thanks to my dissertation, which focused very specifically on women, the very topic I had been introduced to at Snow, I graduated from SMU in May 2024 and decided to pursue a career in public history rather than as a college professor. I applied and interviewed for several other jobs, including at the Utah Historical Society, but I found an ad for a permanent full-time job as a professional tour guide in Washington, D.C. I applied and was hired in the first interview. It was a dream come true, so much so that until my very first day, I was half convinced that it was too good to be true. Thankfully, it was true, and now I get to walk around our nation's capital and see these amazing sights every single day.
If I can't be in LA, then Washington, D.C. is the next best place to be a film lover like me. This here is the AFI Silver Theater. It is one of my favorite places. On days that I have off, I am usually here seeing a classic film, which is exactly what I did today.
The AFI Silver Theater is a refurbished theater from the era I study in my dissertation, and they play classic films here all the time. On this particular day, I saw one of my favorite black and white movies called His Girl Friday from 1941. If I could give any advice to new or any future Snow College Badgers, it would be this. If you find something you really love, never be afraid to follow your dreams, no matter how far away from home it might take you. Be brave and be curious and say yes when opportunities present themselves. Attending Snow College can truly be the first step to the rest of your life. It certainly was for me.